Welcome to Taiwan. The scenic beauty here is pleasing to any visitor. Portuguese traders who came here in the early part of the 16th century called it Formosa, which means beautiful. The Chinese name Taiwan emphasizes more the productivity of the land. It is both beautiful and productive. It is also a land of hard work. Many tasks are performed by manpower. The big and powerful water buffalo is used for certain kinds of work. In recent years, the use of machines is increasing, but the human element is still the most common. The production of hemp is done by a simple process. After the plant has grown to proper maturity, it is cut and processed by hand. This fiber is dried, combed, and twisted into string and rope. In Taiwan, it is used in building temporary structures and in binding packages for shipment. Salt is one of the basic needs for human subsistence. Here it is produced by the simple method of evaporation of water from the sea. The salt crystals are further dried in large piles until it is ready for the market. Both men and women work in these areas. The work is hard and the income is small. Taiwan lies in the western Pacific, less than 100 miles off the south coast of China. This area, shown on the map, is the CYCH area, located in the west central part of the island. The hub of this district is the city of CYCH. A look at the buildings shows various types, with the Chinese predominating. The city square is more modern, but the influence of Japan as well as the West is in evidence. It is estimated that the population density in Taiwan is 726 persons per square mile on the island. Naturally, the great concentrations are in cities, such as CYCH. Great crowds of people gather for theatricals. The presentations are of historical or religious content, or both. The text is recited or sung in a falsetto voice. Traditionally, all actors are men or boys. These people are a small part of the 10 million people living in Taiwan. And yet, these people are a part of those who are the object of our mission work. A dragon made of bamboo strips and paper winds its way down the street. Can these people become interested in the gospel? Masks cover the pretender or unknown. The battle here is only a pretense of fighting. No blow is delivered, nor is the enemy actually cut down. Suddenly it's all over. But our warfare, as good soldiers of Christ, is not a pretense, nor is the enemy pretending. We battle for the souls of men. Idols are paraded to awaken interest, to gain the worship of the people. Taiwan is steeped in idolatry. How are such people to be won for Christ? Into the midst of this situation, a missionary family arrives. First impressions? Well, there are many. One kind of traffic that cannot be eliminated is that of funerals. Men die and are buried, with evidence of mourning as well as of splendor. Now brass bands take the place of old-style bamboo pipes. Temple priests are employed. The casket is usually expensive. The mourners follow in sackcloth. The lament is very audible, and tears much in evidence. The pedicab ride finally takes the missionary family out of the stream of traffic in order to get them to their new home. Anticipations of many months are soon to be realized. They stop in front of the mission place, anxious to get a glimpse of the house that will be their home. The garden greets them. The boys help with the suitcases, and together they share in this homecoming. The children show their usual enthusiasm for an event such as this. The parents thank God for it. A table prayer is offered with deep gratitude. What a feeling of contentment they must all feel as they sit around their own table. But outside on Market Street, business goes on as usual. The small vendor makes his living with his cart. The market rush hour is in the forenoon. In all these transactions, measuring, weighing, and payment of money, we see that it's a busy workaday world here. Simple as the surroundings are, they are happy in their first home in Chiayi. This Christian family life is a testimony to the community. Here there will be words and deeds to witness of God's saving grace. At the table, it's time for dessert. How the children love watermelon. Little Susie is attending a Chinese kindergarten. She feels perfectly at home. She is given the privilege of sharing in the flag-raising ceremonies with the Chinese boy. For each child, there is an equal sense of honor and joy in this flag. For the troop of Boy Scouts, as they march orderly by, there's a big task ahead. What will their future be? Another part of the life of the missionaries is sending the older children to boarding school for their primary education. They are usually sent at the age of 8 or 9. Here we find the Ditmanson boys, Gordon and Paul, at Morrison Academy at Taichung. Morrison Academy is run by several missions. Besides regular studies, attention is also given to recreation. It's a comfort to the parents to have their children in a Christian atmosphere. But even so, it's a sacrifice to have them away from home during the school year. The work at the medical station among the people at Taiwan begins. The doctor joins his staff of dedicated people who will work with him. They carry on the ministry of preaching and healing among the people in the Chiayi area. The doctor's wife helps sort out the packages of supplies sent from the people back home. In this work, we have a share also. These boxes of supplies for the missionaries' work are important. For smaller clinics in outlying places, a Volkswagen has been secured as a mobile unit. It has been serving a wonderful purpose. There are so many who cannot possibly come to the central clinic. This staff is just a beginning. More workers and supplies are needed here. During the summer months, there are frequent typhoons or tornadoes. During these times, our medical staff is called upon to help in a special way. Houses, supplies of food, fuel, and clothing are swept away by the high velocity of the winds. Such was the misfortune of the Pizza Toe village and its people. In times of disaster, epidemics are apt to follow. Typhoid and stomach disorders may come and spread very quickly. Immunizations are very important. Here, the prompt action of the doctor and his staff reached many in this time of need.
Greetings to each one of you in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. We are glad for this opportunity to introduce to you the work of the Taiwan Lutheran Mission in Formosa. In your visit with us today, we would like you to see some of the efforts being made to serve these people in the name of Christ. Although they are thrifty and hardworking, it is difficult for them to make a living, and most of them are poor. In rural areas especially, health standards are very low and medical facilities inadequate. There is a high incidence of tuberculosis, trachoma, parasitic infections, and other diseases. Many of the babies and children are malnourished. At selected places in this densely populated area, we are now having regular medical clinics. As some of the staff preach to the people, others are attending to their bodily needs. We feel deeply privileged to be here in Taiwan, trying in a small way to exemplify and pass on some of the love which God has shown us and which is for all people. But this is your work too, and so we thank you for all you are doing to bring this witness to the people of Taiwan. We thank you for your prayers, your interest, and your gifts. May God richly bless you, each one.
There are other days and other clinics. Then comes the writing of the prescriptions. They are taken to the dispensary, which is part of the mobile unit. As the prescriptions are turned in, willing hands fill them. The clinics provide an opportunity for reaching the people with the gospel. Christian songs are sung and a witness spoken to the people who gather. A leper comes for help and is not denied. Fortunately, there is now a cure for this dread disease, but it takes time and the attention of a doctor and a nurse. There are thousands of lepers on the island. The old woman with bound feet, still holding the pictures in her hand, returns to the clinic and to the meetings. She can benefit from each. Usually, while the doctor is busy at his work, the evangelist is speaking to the people. These people enjoy pictures. To the illiterate, they are a great help. And so the gospel is spread in this way. Even the doctor breaks away from his routine long enough to give a message. After all, the doctor's purpose is to bring Christ before these people by both word and deed. The great question is, will their hearts find the way of God? The need for a hospital is more apparent as his work continues among these people. The property next to the bus stop is being shown by the owner. The doctor and his business manager are looking over the land as a possible building site. A panorama of what is to come: buildings, equipment, national staff members, as well as more medical missionaries. The lines and boundaries are pointed out. The lay of the land is noted. As construction is anticipated, many hours are spent going over preliminary plans for the hospital. For the doctor, it means a thorough study and evaluation of future needs. The magistrate of the Chiayi district is shown the tentative plans because the project will be in his territory. His approval will be of value for this venture. The next thing is to measure the land. This must be done by the official surveyors of the district. Measuring is done in the presence of adjoining property owners and according to the customs of the Chinese. Since the boundaries are irregular, it takes a lot of measuring and figuring. Stakes and markers are put down as indicated by the surveying of the land. In spite of the seemingly primitive methods, it can be said that the job is usually done to the satisfaction of all, including one's neighbors. Now the document transferring the title on the property can be executed. Both the seller and the buyer want it to be in proper order. A personal seal is added, and another, until all seals, including the missionaries, have been affixed. With everything now in order, the final payment is made. Maybe, as it's being offered, according to an old Chinese custom, the seller politely says, "You keep the money and use it." To which the buyer, equally polite, replies, "You take it. It is rightfully yours." This might seem like the final act, but it isn't. There is still one thing, which is not official, but nonetheless important. It is the feast, furnished by the buyer to all neighbors. They participate with the understanding that they are all satisfied. It is somewhat like old saying, "Speak now, or forever hold your peace." The feast began with a Christian blessing. May the work so continue. The doctor and other missionaries dream and think about the plans for the future in this work. We too would follow in this same spirit. They and we will work together that the dreams may come true. And now, a greeting from Mr. Zhao.
To all of you friends in North America, my name is Joe Zhao, and I am business manager of the Chiayi Lutheran Clinic. Born and brought up in Chiayi and became a Christian 10 years ago, I am happy to be serving Christ among my own people. bringing both medical and spiritual help to them. I want to thank you for your assistance to us. Your prayers and your gifts are helping bring many of my people to Jesus Christ. Thank you, each one. May God bless you all.